Alright, so what I've got for you today is a professional match of StarCraft 2, and I'm really excited to find out exactly what ends up going down right here on Lightshade, because after this match was played during Dreamhack Summer a couple of days ago, literally dozens of you reached out and mentioned that I should really go ahead and check out the game on Lightshade. Now, this is one of the maps of a best of 5 series. I know who ends up winning the best of 5, and I also know that both of the players ended up winning at least one map, with one of them obviously winning 3. But what I'm trying to get at is that I have absolutely no clue about this game, and I have absolutely no clue who ends up winning it. So I'm super excited to find out exactly what ends up going down, just because so many of you recommended it, and generally speaking, that means that we are in for some epic StarCraft 2. Now, I don't think I really have time for more introductions or more blabbering, because apparently our Terran player is already proxying a couple of barracks. Should be 2, there you go, on the other side of the map. So playing here with the Red Terran SCVs from South Korea, we have Dream, his opponent in the opposite corner, the world champion of StarCraft 2 from Italy. We're looking at Reynor's main hatchery. Now, I literally casted Reynor versus Dream like last week. You may recall that video. This is a different series, different match entirely. So, I mean, by the time that I casted that previous series, this match wasn't even played yet. So, it's definitely from an entirely different event. But, yeah, I'm excited, man. I've heard something about Thors and Brute Lords. That's all I know, okay? I'm basically sharing you, like, my full knowledge of this game. I heard something about Thors and Brute Lords, which are both units we don't really see in this matchup ever. I mean, we do every once in a while. When it comes to it, ooh, did you see that? That was a very fast turnaround. Reynor saw indeed that the SCV was over there. Anyways, when it comes to it, I'll explain a little bit more why those units are rather uncommon. Dream, though, wants to start off this series quite aggressively. Couple SCVs pulled away already from the main base. Normally, we see Zerg players pulling a couple more than that, okay. One of the drones ends up going down. Yeah, okay. More workers are gonna run down the ramp. Very important. 2 workers so far. SCV probably will also not live to tell the tale, though, so far this is quite alright. Good target firing right there by Dream. You do want to micro back the weakened workers if at all possible. Nice target firing here by Dream, though. Okay, so 2 SCVs end up going down. 4 drones here in total. Obviously a lot of lost mining time as well for Zerg, but with the queens just about to pop, I think the barracks will probably have to start floating on home as well. Gas production is gonna continue right now here for Reynor. So he's not gonna finish up Zergling speed here anytime soon, but this is not really something that Dream knows, although he can probably make the assumption that Zerg did pull out of gas, just because you need to maximize the mineral income here in the earlier stages of the game if you want to rush out a couple of Zerglings. Okay, Schumer goes down. Okay, so far Dream seems to be on point, right? I mean, it's obviously a relatively low commitment push. Proxying 2 barracks, it's nice and all, but it's not really gonna make that big of a difference most of the time to the Zerg players at this level. Let me just put it like this. I don't really see double proxy barracks really dealing critical damage ever anymore at this point in the meta of StarCraft 2. I mean, Zerg players have just gotten too good at defending it. I guess the biggest problem that Zerg players run into is that they may assume it's a triple Rex proxy. One cheeky little Zergling got in. Anyways, if you assume it's a triple Rex proxy, you may decide to keep the drones in the gas and then rush out link speed a little bit faster, and then you might not have enough to deal with the double Rex proxy because the Marines hit a little bit. But I don't think it's really going to make that much of a difference. He's still hunting for an SCV here. Alright. I like the start, though, here for Dream. It's just a way of immediately starting off the game aggressively. Obviously, you can still go into the factory very nicely. The biggest delay on the factory should probably be, well, I guess it's a little bit later because you made a second barracks, but you're not going to be able to make a reactor on a barracks and then switch it over, right? So Dream definitely is a little bit later here on the Hellions, but obviously Zerg has also been delayed ever so slightly. Armory follow-up already. Okay, that's a very quick armory. I wonder if it's full-on mech. No, it can't be mech, right? Like, there's already 2 barracks. No. I'm thinking of the Thors, but there's no way that's gonna be mech. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's probably just gonna be for a Hellbat timing attack instead. Makes way more sense. Maybe a couple leftover Marines from earlier as well. He's gonna go for 1 tech lab. Might go for a second tech lab here in a second as well. Anyways, in the meantime, on the other side of the map, Reynor has decided to take his 3rd base. He's dancing right here with the Hellions for a little bit. Playing with fire, quite literally. But this is a comfortable position, I think, for Reynor, all things considered. I mean, obviously, the timings here from the Terran are going to be ever so slightly different than what we normally see. But I don't think it's really going to affect him all too much. He's very good in these situations, especially. I actually was thinking about that the other day. So, for those of you that haven't really been following recent results in tournaments, it seems that both Serral and Clem are actually struggling a little bit. The last 2 weeks, for some reason... Actually, hold that thought. Let's watch this little push before I blabber onwards. Can he target fire on a medevac? Okay, yeah, losing the medevac here would be a disaster. Zerglings are going to be in the back, it seems. It's a location the Hellbats can't really reach. The Queens are shooting away their spines at a very long distance, which is the main reason why this is such a scary push. Ooh, drones actually turned around there for a second. Very nice deflection here, though, by Reynor, right? Super impressive stuff. Those Queens have been softening up those units for long enough. Medevac is going to be out of energy here very soon, and with that, I think the Terran's probably going to have to pick up and get it out of there. As a matter of fact, Reynor's already droning again. Anyways, okay, so what I was trying to get at... Well, the Hellions apparently... Dude, he's already waiting for this as well. Woo! Nice. Very nice player by Reynor so far. So, Serral seems to be struggling a little bit so far this year, at least compared to what we have come to expect from Serral, right? I mean... His tournament results would be the highlight of, you know, the average pro gamer career, and even in 2021. But for Serral, he was basically winning everything for a little while, right? And Clem, I mean, I've been hyping up Clem a lot over the last couple of months, but especially over the last 2 weeks or so, he's been losing series that he shouldn't be losing. Like, literally last night, he had some really uncharacteristic results, and he's gone down quite a bit in the Illegal Leg ranking. I mean, that happens from time to time, right? I mean, maybe it's time for a bit of a holiday, a couple days off, I don't know. Either way, I hope he can get it back together. But the reason why I bring it up is because ever since Reynor has been, like, good at the game, he's been extremely consistent as well. Right? So once upon a time, we could critique his late game. His late game was maybe not his best. And he was really focused on early and mid-game play and very aggressive styles in general. But these days, Reynor is always good. Oh my god, can he actually get the wraparound right here? Yeah, Zergling's coming in from a strange angle. Those were on the other side of the map, I think, ready to go for a run-by, but medevac not going to be in time right here for the hot pickup, and that does mean that all of those Hellions get picked off for practically free. But yeah, Reynor, probably the most consistent pro gamer, at the very least currently in StarCraft 2. Definitely not, like, for example, when Dream won the WC... Or, sorry, Dream. When Dark won the WCS, he looked really good, and then the year following that, he actually looked kind of shaky. So 2020 was really not that great a year for Dark, all things considered. I mean, he was good in the earlier part of it, and he was good in the later part of it, I guess, in December. But in between, it all looked a little bit shaky. Reynor, though, consistent ever since winning Katowice earlier this year. Not really showing any signs of slowing down. As a matter of fact, he's been moving up. All right, Dream, in case you're unfamiliar, one of those Korean Terran players that's always done fairly well, but it's hard to make a name for yourself if you're a Terran player in Korea, right? In the same way that it's hard to make a name for yourself if you're a Zerg player in Europe. There's a couple of very successful Terran players in South Korea. Most notably, obviously, Maru, but also TY, Innovation. A bunch of them come to mind. Fun fact, actually, if you like mech, Gumiho has just finished his military service. That's maybe a name you haven't heard in a while. I'm personally a massive Gumiho fan just because he's been playing mech for a very long time. And he's just been playing, you know, fun ways of StarCraft. At the very least when it comes to playing Terran. Like, all of the Terran players kind of play similarly, but Gumiho was always one to play the game a little bit differently. And he's apparently back to StarCraft. Now, I don't know if he's ever going to get back to his skill level, but this was announced, I think, about a week or two or so ago. I'm excited to find out exactly where that man is going to be at. The Gumi God is what they called him. The Towel Terran. He has like a condition apparently where his hands excessively sweat. So usually he plays StarCraft 2 with like a towel over his mouse hand. Which is why people started calling him the Towel Terran. Anyways, that's not the Terran player we have featured here. But what I'm trying to say is that if you are playing a conventional style of Terran, like for example the way that Dream is playing here, you're kind of going to be overshadowed by guys like, for example, Maru, like Innovation, like TY. Like, you know, there's a bunch of them. Bjorn obviously comes to mind as well, though Bjorn maybe plays a little bit differently, a lot more micro-focused. Alright. +1/+1 is done, so 2/2 is coming up. Same on the other side of the map. Dream slightly ahead when it comes to those upgrades. Not unexpected. Reynor's going to go into the Hydralisk Den as well as the Hive. He's already got Burrow coming up as well. Wouldn't be surprised at all if he decides to go for that Lurker style. He's very well known to go for that Lurker style. As a matter of fact, it's, well, one of the reasons why that Zerg army composition is so popular. It's because he started playing it. So there's the Lurker Den indeed. A little bit out of sync right here with the Hive finishing up, but it shouldn't really be that big of a difference. Look at the creep spread, by the way. Yeah, we compliment Reynor a lot on his, like, aggression. And the way he just, like, seems to have a really good idea of how to engage. But I think one of the real main strengths of Reynor is just because of how ridiculously fast he is. Like, he doesn't really drop... Like, look at the actions per minute. This is literally him pressing, like, 10 buttons a second, right? Like, it's kind of nuts. And it goes on the entirety of the match. It's one of the reasons why, you know, he can produce so many Zerglings and create so many opportunities for himself. Because of that, creep spread is super far out. There's always enough larva to, like, reinforce with another 100 or so Zerglings. He's just very quick on all of those little moves. And it makes him a difficult player to go up against because he doesn't really have any conceivable weakness, I guess. Ooh, okay, nice. Liberator was shift queued right there towards the base. Not gonna happen. Medivacs over here pick units up just barely in time. But this map, I mean, so far it seems to be all Reynor, right? As far as, like, the bases go, Terran did just now secure a 4th, which I really like. That's usually the point as well at which Terrans are going to be able to max out easily, and indeed when additional command centers will be coming up. Terrans will usually either go for an all-in on 3 CCs or 4 CCs, or they will max out and just basically plan down a billion SC or a billion of those command centers if they could, right? So already, I mean, we now have 4 additional command centers coming up. We have another CC that just finished up here as well. This is Dream setting himself up to be able to basically just get rid of all of his SCVs and just do all of the mining exclusively with mules, at the very least when it comes to minerals. Terrans can basically start lowering the amount of workers here that they need at some point. So currently he's sitting at 80 SCVs. Reynor at 98, by the way, which is quite extreme. But yeah, what I'm trying to get at is that Dream can start lowering his SCV count pretty easily if he wants to. He doesn't really need to, but he could. Just to replace them with additional mules instead. So this is actually going to be a planetary. Oh. So wait, is he going to go for planetary fortresses in, like, technical positions? Well, speaking of technical positions, I don't know if you want to be rolling through here as Reynor. +3/+3 is not done yet, but I guess this is the timing that he wants to go for. Planetary fortress also not done yet. This seemed like a bit of a questionable push at first, but did he just burrow a couple of banelings there in the middle of that battle? All right. This seemed like a questionable engagement at first, but I guess it's working out. All of a sudden, the swarm has arrived. Hydra's coming up. I guess this is Reynor mostly just, yeah, trading out units. Right? So since he is sitting at 90+ workers, he kind of needs to trade units as well so he can make other armies, right? He's been working on that lurker tech for a while, but there was no supply available to, like, make any lurkers. So maybe that's what's going on here. I actually quite like that he burrowed. I think he accidentally burrowed that. That was probably not intended. Burrowing the one Zergling over there was probably meant to burrow a couple of banelings instead, and I think he succeeded doing that. But now the one Zergling is actually going to provide vision here for, yeah, a little while. You can see the units coming up. All right, I actually really like the double planetary here. Double planetary is kind of nuts. That being said, lurkers are extremely powerful. The swarm has arrived. Lurkers, of course, very good when it comes to outranging this, although this is a bit of a funky battle, though. Yeah, this is not really a position that I like here for Reynor. That planetary is awesome. 27 kills. Huh. Okay, so this is something we don't normally see. Everything is quite standard here from both players. But the planetary here is kind of neat. Both of them will be able to, yeah, have each other's back, right? I'm just a little worried that at some point lurkers are just going to walk up here, burrow, and then it's dead in like 2 spines. And all of my hyping up of that planetary was, you know, for naught. Anyways. Zerglings ready to run by once again. Their +3/+3 is done right now. Maybe a little bit preemptive right here on the engagement, but you can kind of see when the upgrades kick in, right? All of a sudden, those links will deal so much more damage, and they seem to just not die. Hydra's also available. Good defense here, though, by Dream. Yeah, very important defense as well. All right, he's holding on. He's holding on. Man, this map is nuts. It's all creeped up at this point. Where do you even go? Like, if you're a Terran player here, like, what's the course of action? Double Nidus instead of the main base now as well. Okay. Can we see some nukes? Hello. Yeah, there's a Ghost Academy. Can we see some nukes, please? Well, if it's up to Reynor, he's not going to allow it to go that far. My god. I'm pretty sure this is what the StarCraft lore designers had in mind when they thought of the Swarm, right? When they, like, came up with the story of the Zerg, this is what they had in mind. Just endless waves of little units biting and just gnawing their way through all of the Terran machines. It's like orcs versus humans, you know? Like, here he is once again on the other side of the map. Impressive decision-making, though, here by Dream, right? So, what's extremely difficult for a Terran player at this stage in the game is deciding where you want to spread your army. Because Zerg is super fast, especially when the creep is just all over the map. How do you decide how many units are going to be over here and how many are going to be over here? Like, how do you decide that? If Zerg decides to have 100 army supply up north, how can you deal with that if you only have, like, 50 army supply of your own down there, right? Or up there, I guess. Guess the planetaries and the static defense and just the sensor towers and whatnot help with that. But you can see there's, like, a roaming army, and then there's, like, a static army. And the way that Dream deals with it is that he's got, like, static units set up all over, like, his bases. And then I guess this little roaming squad goes in the direction that the sensor tower indicates. I quite like it. Where are these guys going? Is this a Nidus Worm? Yep, that's a Nidus Worm. Does he even have units inside of the Nidus Worm? He doesn't. He doesn't. He's just got 2 Nidus Worms made. Once again, to try and create a distraction. Lurkers come up over here. Nidus Worm instead of the main base. That's actually really clever. So the Nidus Worms, in a way, are making that roaming army go into the main base, right? So that was a commitment, obviously, because the Nidus Worms are not free. But it does create the opportunity for the Zerg army to move over here. This planetary fortress, by the way, is the total hero here. 46 kills. There's a nuke! Okay. Here we go. Second Ghost Academy comes up as well. So we're going to be able to see some of those flying across the map. Okay. So Reynor actually added on more workers. He's now at 101 workers, which is a lot. The way that he's been trading is obviously incredibly inefficient. So if you look right here at resources lost, you can see that, well, Terran has been trading like an absolute champ. This is usually what happens with the 100 worker style, I guess. Also, once again, it's pretty much only Reynor that plays that kind of army. Or that kind of, like, worker count. There comes the planetary again. This time around, though, I'm a little bit concerned for it, because that's a lot of Banelings. So the hero planetary does eventually end up going down. A bunch of SCVs get picked off as well. A lot of ghosts are available, though, and they're going to start sniping away at this Zerg army. Very nicely done right here by Dream. I mean, that planetary fortress may as well have been made out of gold. Here comes the tactical nuke flying across the map, and this is, I think, the opportunity that Dream was waiting for. He's replacing any lost Marines with Ghost right now, so there's really not going to be that many Marines available anymore. Now even though apparently the aftermath there is not relevant. They just walk straight into the radiation, no biggie. Even though, yeah, Zerg ended up losing quite a lot of army, though. I don't think it can push too deep onto the creep. Because if you do that, then obviously Reynor is going to be all over your bases. But that's... Look at this guy. He's playing freaking SimCity over here, man. City Skylines. That's not a good trait, Reynor. That is by no means a good trait. Those, like, command centers that he's got are really creating insane funnels here, right? So, like, the Zerglings are going to have to go through those choke points, and then the siege tanks and the liberators are having a field day. Huh. Alright. Great Aspire coming up. Notice as well that Reynor is not adding on any Ultralisk here, which I think is quite clever. Just, you know, Ultras. We've seen him play a bunch of Ultras. Oh my god, Jimmy and the crew moving forward, heading on over towards this base over here. Hello, Command Center. I know you're eager to land in this exact position, but... okay, might not be a bad idea to back off for at least a little bit. Goes heading on over towards the top corner as well. Already, though. Ay, ay, ay. super quick movement right there by the Zerg player. I don't know if he saw the little shimmer or what, but he probably anticipated this little move. As soon as he notices, though, that the Terran player is heading on south, apparently the Zerg at the very least threatened to go in up north. Did he see the Greater Spire? He did not. There's already a Thor coming up, though. I guess the most logical transition at this point is Thor. Or, sorry, is the Brute Lord. Okay, so Brute Lords... Okay, Brute Lords are really good if you can catch your opponent off guard. But when your opponent already is kind of in a position where they can counter it, I'm not really a big fan at all of the Brute Lords. Because Brute Lords are really slow, they're not particularly phenomenal at all when it comes to like fighting either, even when they get into the combat. And since there's already... Oh my god, is he not seeing it? Since there's already so many ghosts available at this stage in the game, I can just almost imagine the snipes going down, right? Okay, this time around, the Overlords, I mean, they are the most important unit right there to get evacuated, I suppose. Anyways, finally, after like 10 minutes of just exclusively defending, Dream is starting to catch some breaks here, which I really like. So 20 kills right there on that Ghost. I don't think it's going to live for much longer. It's just sitting out its final moments right here on the creep. But at the very least now, Dream has got himself a couple of bases up, right? So 6 o'clock position. This is not... No. This is the 6 o'clock position. Whatever you want to call this. The 7:30 position acquired right here by Dream. At the same time, though, we see 9 Brute Lords here on the production tab, as well as the second Spire. So, once upon a time, Thors would get countered by Brute Lords. So basically, Brute Lords had, I believe, 12 range. So basically, it was 10 range and then plus 2 leash range. This is, by the way, what I was talking about earlier. And Thors at the time had 9 range on their high impact mode, if I'm not mistaken. It could have been 10. It's basically what I'm trying to get at with a lot of words. I mean, the patches are all some time ago. Oh, no. Hello. Really? Those are the most brave Brute Lords I've seen in a while, and I've seen fairly few. Alright. Basically what I'm trying to get at is that once upon a time, Brute Lords used to counter Thors, but these days, Thors counter Brute Lords. So, I'm not sure about the Brute Lord situation. My god, dude. He's not slowing down the nukes, right? So the nukes are 100 minerals, 100 gas each. It seems like every single nuke so far has been worthwhile. Nope. Loses detection. I love the way that Dream is playing this out, though. So look, he's killed a lot of his own SCVs off, and now the mining will really start happening, right? Okay, so we have nukes going down, but also a Nidus Worm inside of the main base of the Terran player. Terran units are heading on over in that direction. I think that's also going to give Reynor his first sighting of all of those Thors. Thors inside of the Medivacs are pretty nice. I mean, there's a couple lurkers here, but I don't think they're really going to be able to pop out and get that much work done. Man, he's going so many. Holy... Okay, so there's gonna be 17 Brute Lords? Let's actually look at this. So 16 Ghosts and 6 Thors. Thors are incredibly powerful. And I've just seen, like, the problem is, I've tried this out in a lot of my own games as Zerg. I've also tried it as Terran whenever I see Brute Lords just start making Thors. It normally doesn't work out very well. There is a moment, though, once you reach critical mass in Brute Lords, where the Brutelings themselves kind of block the pathing on the Thors. So basically, you shoot all of the little Brutelings at the Thors, and then the Thors are trying to get in range of the Brute Lords, but they can't because, like, you know, they can't step forward because there's so many Brutelings on the ground. If that makes any sense. Maybe that's what Reynor wants to be going for. There's Pathogen Glands coming up as well. So the Infestation Pit is going to get the ranged, or sorry, the energy upgrade for the Infestors. This base, by the way, is quite an important one for the Terran player. We get to a full-on split map scenario. We get to a full-on split map scenario. Okay, the drones. Apparently Brenda and Karen over here. Dedicated to killing that one unit. If we look right now at resources lost, where is it at? Okay, still heavily in favor of the Terran player. I'm a little concerned that that's what the outcome of the game is going to be. Well, Hold that thought, though. Zerg will need to start trading more efficiently. Hero Planetary Fortress number 2, not gonna happen. Spore Crawlers are pushed as well to the front, which I quite like. Man, that's so many Brute Lords. Oh my god. We also see Neural Parasite being researched here. So Zerg may very well be able to go in for some Neurals on the Thors. I guess that's one way of getting rid of the Thors when you know, make the Thors switch sides. Zerglings over here stream into the natural expansion. They're going to be able to bite at least through 2 Thors, I think, which is a very valuable trade. Those are the kind of trades we're looking for. Now that the Ghosts have arrived, though. Ooh, okay, he's going to continue to fighting for a little bit longer. Nice fungal growth there on the Ghosts. What are we watching right now, dude? This is so sick. Like, these are the type of games that I watch, and I'm like, why are there even any other esports out there? Okay? Like, don't get me wrong. Other esports can be quite enjoyable as well. But my god, is StarCraft better than all of them. It's not even close. I know some of you will disagree, but these are such epic games. Ay. So Reynor, forcing the Thor transition, goes for a gajillion Zerglings as well as a follow-up, while transitioning towards what seems to be Brute Lords and Infestors. Base in the top section of the map is gone. That being said, this expansion was basically already mined out, right? So even though that move was nice, it's not like Dream is really gonna, you know, lose out that much on these 500 or so minerals that are available still. And 130 gas, apparently. I think the real fight will come down to this base over here. This is a base that's still relatively fresh. There's still, I would say, like 8 minutes or so of mining remaining. Although with this many mules, it will be gone pretty quickly. We also have now a switch once again by Dream back down towards Marines. Although at this stage in the game, the amount of Zerglings available is kind of nuts. Yeah, I don't think it's really going to cut it. So Infestors have 2 useful skills here. First off, they have Fungal Growth, which is useful on Ghosts. Ghosts have a skill called Steady Targeting. When they take damage, however, the Steady Targeting that's channeled over, like, I think it's a second and a half or so, is cancelled. So Fungal Growth deals damage. It also reveals the units if they're cloaked. So basically what we should expect is the Fungals to go on top of the Ghosts. Ghosts obviously in turn have a skill called EMP that allows them to remove energy out of units from the opponent. Secondly, the Brute Lords, the Infestors have a skill called Neural Parasite, which basically allows them to take control of affected units from the opponent. So I think we should expect the Neurals to go on the Thors, if that's going to be a possibility. It's going to be a dance between the Ghosts and the Infestors, though. We are now at 20 Brute Lords, 13 Thors, 13 Ghosts. Man, this is so many Brutes, though. Like, he's splitting them up. Every single time they shoot, like, an entire volley worth of those little Brutelings, it deals a lot of damage. +3/+3 is still coming up, by the way, so these are not maxed out. At the same time, huge amount of Zerglings is actually running over towards the natural expansion, and it's distracting quite a few of those Ghosts. The Ghosts and Thors are going to be able to clean this up eventually, but this is still a good distraction, and maybe an opportunity right now, indeed, for the Zerg player to move forward. Reynor forcing his opponent to make the decision where he wants to fight, with a relatively low amount of supply of his own. You can see as well with this amount of Thors, they're starting to derp out a little bit because they're so big. In a straight-up battle, like, if the Thors could all fire at once, the Thors absolutely trash Brute Lords. It's not even close. But I guess the way in which Dream has been building up his base, while phenomenal against these Zergling run-bys, it's kind of biting him in the butt when he's going for his own Thors, right? Because the Thors themselves also have a hard time going through the Sim City. Enhanced Shockwaves is coming up, so that's the EMP upgrade. Would have loved to see that one a little bit sooner, but fair enough. Zerg is going to start long-distance mining, apparently, some of the leftover scraps that the Terran player didn't mine. We're getting to the stage, though, where mineral patches are no longer really a thing. Yeah. Okay, so my instinct of telling me, or of saying that at the very least, this would be the contested base, seems to be true. Both players are starting to oversaturate their minerals, meaning that SCVs and drones will likely be heading on over towards this base instead. The red dot has been found, but I don't think there's really a whole lot he can do. +3 that's already finished, though, so I don't think he really cares that much either. Okay. Not bad. Spore crawlers, slowly moving forward. A couple of drones are being killed. Even mules are now long distance mining the scraps. I love it. Man, there's some epic games of StarCraft. Like, that was like a little bit of a replay drought. I would say like 2 weeks or so ago, where I couldn't really cast anything because players were playing Dreamhack as well as TSL. And, you know, neither of these two tournaments had wrapped up yet. So they didn't release their replay packs. But now that they both have wrapped up, I have so many games to cast, it's not even fair. All right, look at this, look at this, look at this. Dream, going around the back, trying his very best. So there's a huge fungal right here. Infestor was hiding in the bush. If you can pick up all of those ghosts for free, that would be massive. Okay. That was close. Very close. Love the addition right now of Vikings as well. Zerg doesn't seem to have a whole lot of anti-air other than a bunch of queens. That was very dicey. Hatchery being acquired in this position. There's 2 siege tanks here in total, so it's not like Terran can just easily deal with this. He sees the hatchery going up right now. Look at what the radar picks up for the Terran. Okay, scan right now reveals exactly what's going on as well. Not enough Vikings available just yet to one-shot the brutes. Would love to see it getting to that position, although Terran's maxed out. Going even lower than 40 SCVs might very well be necessary. Here's once again the Zerg. These Ling run-bys have been incredibly annoying for the Terran. Yeah, once again, look, there go the ghosts. Fungal growth goes down. Reynor is slowly stepping forward, right? As the creep moves forward, the spore crawlers do so as well. The queens make a bit of a step. Don't think the hatchery is gonna live, but... Okay. Average actions per minute. How is this human? This is it's so stupid. Rapid fire and you know, repeat rates and all that are very much so a thing. So it's not like he's actually pressing 10 buttons a second, but he's still substantially faster than the majority of the Zerg players. All right. If you look at the banks, though, Dream still has a humongous amount of resources here. He can basically rebuild the majority of this army. So the total cost right here of the armies, you can see it right over here in the top left-hand section of the screen. Terran can rebuild it. Zerg cannot. Is he really gonna try and move forward right there on that one ghost? Oh my god, he's gonna move forward on the one ghost! I've seen this go wrong so many times! That was so dangerous. He almost right-clicked on the wrong freaking ghost that was using the tactical nuke. If that would have happened, this entire army would have evaporated in one hit. Alright. Apparently Dream starts to make a bit of a move. I like what he's doing here, setting up what seems to be like a semi-concave with the Thors, allowing them to have an easier time to shoot. EMP does go down. Most of the infestors right now without energy. There's a little bit of anti-air available here for the Terran, or for the Zerg player rather, in the form of spore crawlers, and the Vikings indeed will be picked off. That being said, Dream just now did clear out this base, and Reynor is gonna have to make a fallback right here to the low ground. He needs the infestors with energy. The EMP right there, absolutely massive. Nice job right there by Dream, who's pushing forward and who's now probably going to start mining this base of his own. This high ground is very nice. I love what Dream is doing here. He pushed back the Zergling run by over here too, although there's a huge Terran army stuck inside of the main base. I think that really needs to rejoin this location. Either way, I would love to see a command center heading on over in that direction. I think mining this expansion is going to be the key. Okay. Ooh, couple of abductions into Brute Lords? Really? I don't think I've ever seen that before. Very nice. The Zerglings, once again, being annoying. Command center starts up on location. I feel like there's so many command centers here available, but I guess he wants to have a planetary on this spot. The back and forth on this one final expo. Both players down to 30 workers. What Reynor is, I think, looking to do right now is Neuroparasite. So Neuroparasite can be used while burrowed. Fungal Growth cannot. Two more nukes are being researched as well. If Reynor can neural this army, that would be absolutely phenomenal. Okay, here's a Blinding Cloud coming up. EMP's not landing so far. We do indeed now see a couple of the Thors switching sides. Brute Lord's getting a lot of work done. I don't think there's enough energy here anymore, though. Is there enough, though, for the Terran player to hold on? There's a lot of Brute Lords making a lot of moves. Thors are also firing. A bunch of the Thors, though, stuck in the natural earlier. They only just now joined the battle. And I think, actually, that Reynor may very well be pushing through this army. A lot of the Brute Lords are low in hit points, but the Thors are starting to derp out. Exactly what I was trying to explain earlier. The Brutelings are basically annoying the pathing right there. And even though there was a command center here a second ago, now there is none. Dream forced to spend his bank. Zerk decides to retake this expo. What a match. Okay, now both players are broke. Reynor's adding on a couple more infestors. So, I mean, infestors are very gas heavy. Dream just spent his final money. He doesn't have maxed out upgrades? Oh god, I wasn't even paying attention to that. That's actually huge. He does not have the armory upgrades done for the Thors. That's really painful. That means that those Brute Lords basically dealt +2 more damage than they were supposed to. Okay, well, apparently Dream decides to engage this before it gets to this point. Even now, a lot of Overlords are pushed towards this location. I actually really like the Overlords. They're soaking up a lot of the hits right here that would otherwise go on the Brute Lords or, for example, on those Overseers. That's actually really clever. He doesn't really need the Overlords anymore. That being said, there's still a lot of Thors remaining. Is there enough energy right now on these infestors for neural parasites? There is not. Dream is starting to move forward as well. A couple of the Overlords are pooping creep, so apparently the Spore Crawlers can burrow, providing both detection as well as anti-air. Oh my god, here come a couple neural parasites once again. Is there going to be enough for Reynor to fight through this army right now? I think there might just be the Brute Lords are reigning supreme in this battle against the Thors with a little bit of help right there of the infestors. Ridiculously close battle. Reynor has secured the final expansion, and with that, the game. Woo! Okay. Alright. That was sick. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, do me a favor and take the 1 second that it takes to hit that like button down below. That way this video may very well get picked up by the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get notifications as soon as future videos go live. For now though, thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to smile. And I'll see you once again in the next one.